Hello draft lovers and enthusiasts. Welcome back to the Draft Mind with Bookman. In today's series, we shall be looking at a matchup between the Grandmasters NN and V.Sokov back in the days. Now on screen we have a position which is a post formation of what we know as the city game. The game has come down to 9 pieces, which begins the mid-game. Now a trade has just been made and it is now white to move. Let's look at the technique that white should continue with. Now if white continues with this E1 piece at the central base, moving into D2 and to C3, that's a proper technique. Instead, if he moves the watchman at A1 to B2, bringing it to C3, what this will do is to self-tax a piece at E1. So let's continue the game and see how that works out. So the Grandmaster Sokov moved AB2, AB6, and then he moved to C3. Now let's just look at the self-taxation. Now this piece is self-tax, cannot move to F2 because of this piece. And after moving to D2, there's no continuum here nor here. Now instead of pulling off right here with BC5, black sustains the pressure by bringing down the piece along the 6th check line at ED6, creating a positional block and also a famous formation known as diamond shell zone. This diamond shape here, creating a double tensive along the 6th check line, which is a powerful defense technique. Now, white continues with what is known as a center raid, having crossed the turf, which is the center half here that divides the two half of the field, or the two armies from each other. And black counter blocks, white continues with a follow-up technique, center raid associate, which is actually a good technique along the center line, or the A check. Game rolls on a few moves. Let's backtrack a little and look at this technique along the 5 check line here. Now we have here what is known as a tri-tensive perif, which is the 3 open squares right there. Now both players will try to move along to see who can win the spatial initiative. Now with white to move first and close off, leaving a double tensive. Black moves second and wins the spatial initiative. Now this piece has no continuum along this line except to pull off. So white pulls off and regains some traction. Black takes a free piece, and now after a few more moves, the game is brought down to this position, which is actually a grip lock technique because of the pieces at C3 and F2, pinning this piece that it cannot continue to D2. So black employs a tactical play with a double exposure, trying to get white to be oblivious to this trap by taking H to D2, and then black will crown with C to C1. White, observing the trap, takes 1 instead, regaining his free piece. Black makes a subtle pincer move right here, which is known as the pincer effect. And now after white takes 1, black takes 2, white takes 2, and it's an even trade. Now after this move by black, the proper technique to continue is to move C to B2 and hold off this piece, forcing black to unpass into crown to sacrifice a piece. Instead, white believes that he is safe because he has a pillar home at C1. So he ignores the threat and moves FG3, which I think is a passive move right here for Sokov, giving black the step right now on this outpost, which is the Admiral outpost as we know it in Jamaica. And after a few moves, we see that these 4 men right here, which creates a wall as in football, is defeating these 4 men here along these zones. Now after white forms a striking column, black employs a sacrifice and bind up, stepping on the piece, the hanging piece right here, creating a zugzwang. And now it is a black finish. Black finishes with a win, and the Grandmaster Sokov has lost the game. Bookman again signing out saying blessings.